an episode named for this thing yet, but I already just pressed the streaming button because I'm a madman.
Oh, shoot. So we're live?
Hell yeah, we're live, man. We are live in New York. Wait, no, neither of us are in New York.
It's Monday evening.
Yeah, the best day of the week. It's the day of the week that we all party. I I had a pretty fun weekend of ripping apart my roommate's bedroom to remove a closet,
Oh,
and
that's fun.
I also got a little bit
Well,
of planing time in on my GGBO.
well, before we jib jab too much, we should probably introduce ourselves and the podcast.
Oh yeah,
You go
that's
first.
important. I am Mike Furlan of Element Zero Guitars, and I am one half of the Guitar Builders podcast.
I am Travis from Woodstyle Shinobi on YouTube, maybe on Twitter and other outlets. I'm not really sure. I don't do much of that. The other half of said Guitar Builders podcast. Welcome all and rejoice.
Oh yeah.
uh, Thanks for tuning in, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
or not, whatever your
Yeah.
choice.
Well, it's gonna be a VOD anyway, so they can always just look at it and see it in retrospect and be like, these guys love to talk to themselves. They're going
Yep.
places because they know how to talk to themselves.
Going places real quick.
Oh
You
yeah.
know. Anyways, let's jump right into it. What have you been working on this last week?
So planing and still
All
more
right, all right.
planing. I'm still
Lots
trying
of.
to get my planers dialed in, and I'm
Okay.
actually going to be taking apart my big boy planer, the actual benchtop one, and seeing if I can swap the knives around and you know make them a little nicer on the boards. Because I'm
Yeah.
almost ready for the glue up. Like I can taste
Ooh.
it, and it tastes like pancakes and maple syrup. It's delicious.
It's just a chef's kiss.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the aroma. It in the nose, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good
So
stuff.
my question to you is: are you on track with your build, or are you a little bit behind?
Oh fuck, man, I'm so behind. But I've been working on the template a little bit too, trying to true up some of
Oh,
the
cool.
edges. Because a couple weeks ago I went out to Harbor Freight and splurged,
Mm.
bought myself
Mm.
a drill chuck key because I didn't have one for this ancient drill press that some guy like lent me or gave me. So God bless his soul. He's
Yeah.
a great man. He's still alive. He's still a great dude, and I love him to pieces. But
Nice.
yeah, no chuck key for that thing. So trying to adjust it by hand,
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, it's
I mean,
sketchy.
yeah,
It's really sketchy.
those things you want to get a little tight, because
Yeah.
then you don't want to fucking bit flying off and stabbing you through the eyeball or something.
Well, actually, I guess we could put this as a newbie tip, right? To tighten your bits down, right? And to not just give them a little tightness, but a good amount of tightness. No matter what kind
Oh
of tool
yeah,
it is, it could be a table router, it could be your saw blade. I don't give a fuck. Make sure your shit's tight because that shit will fuck
yeah.
you up.
Definitely the biggest tightening tip I would get put out there is tighten the if you have bearings on your router blades
Hmm.
for any of the router things you're doing, tighten the bearings because those will slip, and I've had them slip all the time. You could even look in my past videos. We have them slip. We've
Is
we've
that
had a
what
few
happened to that
explode
neck?
on camera.
Is that what happened to that
Uh,
neck? Because I remember seeing
uh,
that, and
yes,
that was a tragedy.
yes, that was my brother that did that. And yeah, that's what happened to the neck. The router bearing slipped on it.
Oh God!
But in a different video, he's also had router bits explode. On him.
Wow.
I don't remember which build that is. I want to say that was our Full Metal Alchemist build, but I'm not positive.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, and those things get dangerous. So
Well, it's not only the part that they get dangerous, but also some of the times the unanticipated consequences to our work that we're doing. Right?
yeah,
Like, I found out that with countersinking bits, you can make a perfect chocolate starfish. If that bit is
oh,
not, if it's not tightened down enough, it looks exactly like an anus. I kid you not.
well, I mean, if you get the chocolate starfish, do you at least get the hot dog flavored water with it? You old people will get it.
Yeah, these young people, they don't know
Fred,
who Fred Durst is.
you
They
know?
don't know why it's his way or the highway, you know?
Exactly. They don't know nothing about no Limp Biscuit.
You know, for a while, I actually went by a name called Limp Disket, right?
Oh man, why?
Because that was like my hacker name. I was Limp Disket, you know?
You know what? That's a good hacker name.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But, and by the way, our one viewer, my son, has chimed in and said, "Hey, yo, are you winning, Dad?" And the answer is, of course I'm winning, son. I'm going out there and I'm winning every day with that
Every
planer,
day.
with that router, everything out there. I win with it every day.
Getting at it.
So what
Getting
about
at
your
it.
project that you got going on? How are you holding up with that?
I have not gotten too much done on it this week. I am on track.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much, but I'm on track. I wanted to actually get some of the body cut out, but I was able to sand down the black resin that I inlaid on the other
Oh,
resin, and that's what we got on that.
ooh.
So, yep,
See, last time
it's
I
gonna.
saw that, it looked spooky.
Yeah, it was just a blob of black on top,
Yeah,
and sanding down resin that takes a while. So,
that's a whole separate
that
level of patience I'm not prepared for usually.
yeah, that took me about 45 minutes just to sand down all that flat. So, yeah. Other than that, I wanted to get around to actually throwing that thing on the bandsaw and getting a good solid cutout, but I didn't get around to that. I was
Mm-hmm.
really busy. A secondary note, what I was doing that made me busy this last weekend. We were doing some
Oh no!
doing some. Uh, sorry, I'm getting.
Technology loves us, man.
Oh, okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just getting a phone call. You know me, never prepared. Anyways, me and my brother-in-law we put some vents on my roof.
Yeah.
So got up there and we put 7 vents up. So that took a little bit of time, and we also did ball joints and tie rods on my
Ooh.
charger. So that was a hassle because every time we got to a certain spot, I had to go buy a new tool that I didn't have for it. So I made about 3 trips to Harbor Freight that day.
Yeah.
So
Well, I had
it was
I
a
had a
good
good
thing.
I had a good trip over at Harbor Freight too, not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I definitely feel your pain with working on the car. Did I show
Yeah.
you the when my car started to leak fluids like crazy?
No, you did not.
So I had the thermal, the thermostat housing, the main hose coming off from the radiator to that, where it goes onto there, that
Huh.
plastic part just turned into dust. So I
Oh, really? Yeah.
had to
I
get the
just
whole new
replaced one of
housing.
those on my truck, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and the guy did it in 3 minutes on YouTube. It took me 3 hours because I didn't have
What
the
ki-
spring clamp.
what kind of car is it?
Chevy Sonic.
Okay.
it,
So,
it was stupid easy,
but it,
but I didn't have the right tools.
so I did one on my truck. I got a Dodge Ram 1500,
Yeah,
and mine is just right on top. I mean, it's just behind and under some stuff, but it's
yeah,
like it just pops right in top. I know some of them are like under the engine and all that stuff and pain in the ass. But yeah,
yeah. I had to take some. I think it was like some type of part of the intercooling off in order to get to the point where I could sling a wrench underneath the part to actually get it out. I forget
yep.
what it was exactly that I had to do, but dude, it took me 3 hours and it was a 3 minute job. I felt like an asshole, especially because I used to be an apprentice as an auto mechanic. So it's like the wrenches go left. So yeah, that's always a fun story. But you
Yeah,
are just about ready to start cutting up that thing, huh?
I am. I will be cutting it up. I will be getting some progress for next week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cut it up. Hopefully, I'm going to get to routing the neck pocket and pickup pockets
Mm-hmm.
and back cavity and all that stuff. And after I cut all that stuff up, I'm going to go ahead and just set that to the side
Mm-hmm.
before I start carving it and all that stuff. And I'm going to start on the neck because I need to get that rolling also.
Oh yeah.
And I like getting them all intertwined and all that stuff, getting pretty close to the same build. I prefer starting the neck first, if I'm being honest. That's why I want to set the body off to the side. Yeah, because it's easier to fit the neck into the neck pocket if you have the neck already there.
You know, you raise a really good point there. And I actually really need to free my neck template. But you also know what I really need to do, too. I need to actually finish carving the rest of the holes in my template that I made for, like, the pickup cavities and shit.
Yeah. Yep.
This has been a really grueling competition this year. I mean, it's like the first unofficial, official, or like just the first official Joe Blow one.
Yeah, the first official, unofficial, but it is official. So,
because last year it was unofficial where a whole bunch of dudes were just doing this out of spite, I guess.
Yeah, and you know, I just started building guitars when that was going on, and I was like, next time.
Yeah, same here, man.
Yeah.
I'd gotten like my parts caster and a couple of like Les Paul kit guitars under my belt, and I was starting some Telecaster ones that I got from Amazon. Yeah. And
nice.
Hey, I want to do this. This looks fun. I could come up with something cool that people will think is awesome.
Yeah.
So
hey, that's what I'm trying to do. My channel hasn't blown up yet. I don't know why.
Well, apparently you have to drink Coors Light for that to happen. The guys over at Texas Toast actually had a pretty good stream. I got to check that out where they had Brad Ango's face on a stick or something. There's a little picture.
Oh, okay.
Because they said they were drinking with Brad Angove, and I was like, well, shit, this is going to be a great episode. I got to watch this, and it's just a little cutout Canadian thing, and I'm like, come on, guys, really? Really? You got me all excited. You know?
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Ooh, that was my microphone and my stand right there. I'm sorry. Please don't vibrate anymore. So, yeah, it's a really crazy competition this year, and I also just got my GGBO T-shirt. I don't know if you've gotten that yet. Oh my God!
Bam! Twinsies!
We didn't even talk about it before the show. Wow.
I got mine I got mine last week sometime, and this has just been my house shirt. You know, when I get home from work, I just throw it on.
It's actually a very comfortable shirt.
I like my shirt. Yep.
I like it a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too. But,
so, how's your brother faring with his GGBO stuff?
He is coming along. His is a very intricate one. We just dropped his first video last Friday. Yeah, last Friday. So if anybody wants to check it out, his starting video is our last video. It's crazy. For those who haven't watched it, he is making a Berserk. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the anime Berserk?
No, but I actually did watch some of the video.
Okay.
I was like, I was watching this. I was like, hey, that's a really cool idea right there, buddy.
Yeah. So Berserk is an old school anime. It's like one of the OGs that hit America back in the day. Super brutal. The guy's name is Guts. And he has a sword. It's like 7 or 8 feet long.
Yeah, he's basically Cloud before there was Cloud.
Exactly, Cloud before he was Cloud, but way more badass. He's the Manslayer, the Black Knight or whatever he's called, he's my brother is making his sword into a guitar, basically. So it's a 8-string multi-scale fucking whatever bass.
God bless him. 100% of the way. I'm all about that.
So, and it was the perfect timing because my neighbor just wanted to get rid of a piano that she has, and my brother-in-law actually fucking tore it apart. He kept me some of the wood so I can reclaim and make a guitar, but we also kept the strings so he could use the strings for. Oh, so he got his actual piano wire for the strings.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's going to be really interesting. Do you know what kind of wood it was that he got from the piano?
You know, I have not peeled back the varnish on it, but it's an older one. It looks like it's from like the 60s or something, 50s maybe. One of those old stand-up pianos. But yeah, I got it in the corner over there. I'm not super good at identifying wood,
Yeah, either
but
am I. I mean,
yeah.
it's easy to tell like things that are very obvious. Like you can tell the difference between mahogany and maple, right? Because of the pores.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
And
mahogany is very porous. Maple's pretty close grain,
yeah,
and it's mahogany's reddish.
yeah.
Maple's a very light wood. But as far as like distinguishing like maple and like ash or something, I don't know if I could tell the difference. If
I'm
I'm like
starting
a
to get
blind
there.
study,
I'm starting to get
yeah.
there.
My problem is I haven't really worked with ash. I've worked. I mean, if you put mahogany and like beech wood, I'm like, psh, it looks the same to me. Oh man,
Yeah. Well,
but
I always speaking of GGBO and reclaim wood. I don't know if you saw Tim Sway dropped his first GGBO video.
dude, that's gonna be gnarly.
I really respect the man, his approach to all of this, right? Like he's going to use
Yeah.
all the wood because he's like a hippie when it comes to the conservation of resources. I'm down with that. Like that's really cool of him. He's like
Oh yeah.
he's like the vegan of guitar builders, right? He
Yep.
eats the whole wood, not just
Yeah.
a little piece of the wood like the rest of us, but he eats the whole wood.
Oh yeah.
And some of the stuff he's done with the hollow doors and stuff like that, I can't wait to see what he does with this. This is going to be really cool. Having a mandolin and a guitar,
Man, that's
and he's doing the thing that like made Ben
a
Crow lose his
breakaway.
marble like years and years ago. Because
Yep.
I remember him saying that one of the first commissions he got was to build a guitar and bass that were interlocked with each other, and
Yep.
he spent months trying to figure out how to make it work right.
Yeah, and he way under budgeted in and all that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. And
Yep.
here
I
Tim
remember
Sway
that.
is in 10 minutes of just fucking with these little plastic like holder thing. He's like, check it out, guys. Like it
Yep.
slides apart. It's all like,
But
no,
yeah.
he's really cool. I really
I'm
liked,
super excited to see that. I mean, that's a so fucking cool idea.
yeah.
He got there a mandolin on top of it, and he's reusing all of the wood from the squared up piece.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so cool.
Well, the fact that he actually
Yeah.
took the time to go into his design software and try to like sketch out how he was going to do his cuts so that he can maximize the usefulness of his offcuts, like that's some next level planning. And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't really do so good with the planning thing. Like everything's just
Mm.
kind of like, oh fuck, this is fucked. I gotta unfuck it, and then it'll be happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just free basing with Kevin Bacon over here, like Jaron Benton. I just try my best. So,
Yeah.
I just kind of wing it most of the time.
Yeah, fucking be like O'Reilly, do it live. Fuck it, we're doing
Yep.
it live.
Yep. Exactly. All right, man. Well, I think that brings us in the next topic.
Mm-hmm.
Bad segue, but whatever. What's the hardest part of building a guitar for you?
That would be fitting certain things together. Like neck pockets. Like that's definitely a scary thing when your neck pocket doesn't line up right.
Yeah. Like you made it too big.
Well,
your neck
or
pocket.
you made your neck pocket way too small, right? And I'm saying like, if we're gonna do it in metric, almost like a centimeter off, right? Like a substantial amount where you're like, wait a minute, do I reroute this? And if I do reroute this, where's my center line? There's already finish on this. Like,
Yeah.
that's where things tend to get hairy. So
Definitely.
getting things to line up and be square and straight, that's always a hard one too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean the neck pocket thing. That's always a big issue. I mean, you got to be like super dead on with that. But if
Well, hold on a second.
oh, you talking to somebody?
Yeah,
Okay.
roommate just came walking by.
I'm like, shit. Am I being summoned by a fucking low toned ghost?
Yeah. You are front and center right now, my friend.
Okay. But yeah, the neck pocket thing. I mean, you definitely need that straight, and you definitely need that to fit really good. Because if you don't have a good fit on that, you ain't gonna have nothing. If you make it too big, I mean, depending on if you're selling the guitar or not. I mean, if you make it too big, you're gonna just have to, I don't know, plug it and start over. If you're making it for yourself, You know, wood grain filler works really well. You know, fill in some gaps and then just sand it down to make it actually fit real well. But yeah,
But you see,
you
that's
know,
actually
tricks
like
and all that stuff.
sometimes when we make mistakes, we actually make something beautiful, right? Because with the
Oh
neck
yeah,
pocket part, what if you use contrasting wood to fill in where you were off, and say you made your pocket too wide, and we'll say that it was a centimeter and a half on both sides that was off, right? Like, so you really fucked up.
that's a big gap.
Yeah, so you go and you have this maple body, and now you're filling it with something that contrasts, like walnut,
Mm.
right? And then you go and
Yep.
you reroute it, and now you have something that actually looks really cool. You know,
Hmm.
that's how I try to think of the mistakes that I've made with my projects, is I try to turn them into features.
I mean, that's all you can do at the end of the day. And you know, let's get real. If you build something, most of the time, somebody that didn't build it is going to think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But you're always going to have it in the back of your mind that, man, I really fucked that up.
Yep.
Even though it looks kind of cool now, you know, I know it didn't before.
Yeah.
And I know if somebody that knew what they were doing was looking at this, they're going to be like, man, you really fucked that up, didn't you?
Well,
But
that's actually been like one of the driving forces in me building stuff, is like how do I recover from mistakes, and not only recover
yeah,
from them but make them amazing. That's always that's been like the thing that I keep in the back of my head. It's like, okay, it's okay if I fuck up, because I'll make it awesome
yeah,
somehow because I fucked up. You know,
yep,
that's part of the
hmm
learning process that we have, and it's kind of a shame that the way that popular guitars are, right, where they're all
yeah,
like, either candy coated in like paint, so you don't actually see any of the grain or any of anything
yep,
underneath that finish, um, or that we have like some naturally finished guitars that have to be so pristine and perfect that there's just no room for error or any deviation from tradition.
yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with it. I mean, those cookie cutter guitars, they all look really nice, but it's what I'm looking for is a little bit more unique.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
I like unique too, and that's also why I started building guitars, is because I feel like there's so much of the same thing in the marketplace that
Yeah,
somebody has to come up with some new idea that will either radically shift the focus of what instruments are made and popular, or shift the focus into more unique instruments. Because
hmm
I can't tell you how many Fender Strats I've seen in my life, because literally it's probably been millions of them.
yeah,
Same thing with Les Pauls, everything. And it's not the fact that I'm just seeing the same shapes, it's the same finishes, it's the same pickup configuration, it's the same everything, right? Like, everybody wants to be a clone of the other person.
oh yeah. I think the biggest problem with that is there's only like what 6 different guitar shapes that look good.
Yeah.
That you have to just variant off of because there's a reason, it's eye catching and stuff, and it's not too overdone. Uh, you know, the G style, the S style, the fucking whatever is that blah blah blah. You know, they, I don't know. If there's too many points, it looks dumb. If it's too far shifted to a certain way, it looks dumb. There's only so far everybody can go with variants. The biggest part is making them unique with like, not just painting them Daphne blue or whatever. Uh, so
Yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
agree with that too. Like, that's,
yeah,
there's only so many ways you can actually make it look nice. Because yeah, I think we're at the almost at the point where there's no more like guitar shapes that are available. Because I mean, for fuck's sake, uh, Gibson got bored and did a V-shaped guitar,
yeah,
and it didn't sell like at all. And then all of a
yeah,
sudden it became like a cult icon, and then people were interested in him again. But that's the most recent like popular guitar shape. And I mean, yeah, there's BC Rich and all these other companies that do things a little bit differently. But they're still kind of following the similar model of either a single cut or a double cut, with kind of the same features and layout as everybody else, and a lot of times the
yeah.
same
But
colors.
but that BC Rich thing, it also goes with the too many points and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because, I like it because I like metal.
Yeah.
But anybody that doesn't listen to metal, you're not going to see them playing a BC Rich. You ain't going to see nobody in a country band playing a BC Rich.
Well,
It's
and it's
not going to
actually
happen.
it's a
You know?
sad thing to actually consider that, because the look of the guitar sometimes doesn't match the sound of the guitar. Because
Yeah.
in particular, I played a Warlock that was so well
Mhm.
like set up for jazz, right? That it was just
Oh
so
yeah.
boomy and bassy that yeah, it could do metal, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It sounded so much better clean, and it would be like hyper clean, and it was just perfect for actually having stuff that needed like a really good clean voice. And I could
Oh
never
yeah.
understand, like, it's like, you know, if I was a jazz musician, I wouldn't have picked this up and thought that this was something that could do that, right?
Yeah.
It's like how a lot of people don't think that you can play like metal on a Stratocaster, right? With single coils. Like, you're like, no, man, that's not how that goes, right? But then you actually try it and you're like, hey, this is actually, it works,
Hey,
right?
all I'm saying is you got put enough distortion pedals on and everything turns into a death metal machine.
We all become gentlemen.
Yep. One of these days I'm gonna make me a gent stick, just a broomstick with a single thing.
That'll be awesome. I totally
Just
endorse that. I think we
just
should have
ones.
a I think we should have a competition, the three of
All
us,
right, all right.
right? And
Yeah,
we all make a
we'll
we all
throw that
make a
up.
gent stick and see which one's the most like gangsterly and dirtiest and nastiest sounding one.
Yep. I'm just gonna put one single fret on mine because all you need is ones and zeros. uh,
This will be the
uh,
greatest competition ever. Like, while all these other people are making insane guitars for the Great Guitar Build Off, we're making fucking gent sticks in our sheds, right? Out of
yep.
fucking weird lumber we found on the ground somewheres outside of a construction site, or a dead tree
Oh
in the
yeah.
neighbor's yard. Like, yeah, I don't know what this is. It's some weird wood, man, but check out how it sounds. You know, like,
Yep. Exactly.
it's gonna be beautiful.
Gonna be gnar. Totes
Yeah.
gnar.
So let me ask you a counter question to our question
Uh,
about the hardest thing that it is to build guitars, and actually, what's the easiest thing that you've actually found with
mm,
all this?
the easiest thing. Uh, Let me think. Hmm. You know, definitely not sanding because sanding takes a lot of patience, and I have far too little patience to sand for 3 hours. I usually give up with a couple extra bumps in my guitar steel. Uh,
Oh no, you know what I just realized?
what?
I just realized that I've only been streaming but not recording, so I'll have to download the video for you tonight somehow and send it to you so that you can use it on your channel. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I might be,
Fuck.
I might, I might be able to download it. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we gotta wait
We'll
for
get all take.
we gotta wait for our YouTube to finish encoding it and shit. So that's always fun.
Yeah, we'll get it all figured out.
Oh yeah. I think so.
Anyways, uh, the easiest part, you know, for me in particular, I'm fairly creative.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the easiest part for me is coming up with a design.
Really?
Yeah. Because I can come up with some pretty cool designs and stuff as far as like anime and, video games and pop culture stuff is concerned. I tend to be fairly creative with my designing and all that stuff. Uh, I don't know. That's probably the easiest part for me as far as building a guitar is the design, which is a big aspect of building a guitar. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of template jockeys out there like myself, right? Where we
Yeah.
just bought stuff that makes it easy for us to clone stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do find that the design part's a lot of fun, especially
Yeah.
with the thing that I did recently for the GGBO build. But I actually think that the easiest thing to do
Mm.
is using the chisels out of all things, right?
Mm.
The chisel is the easiest tool because it only has like one function, right? And it has two ways that it can function. And
Yeah.
if you practice with it, it's pretty hard to fuck up with it. unless you're being an asshole. But as long as you're not
That,
like being an asshole, it'll work really nicely for you.
all right.
But yeah, sanding is easy, but it's the patience cost, and I'm not a
Yeah.
patient
Yeah.
man either. And actually, I would say to go back to what was challenging. Have you ever gone into electronics hell with your instruments before?
uh, yeah. Only probably everyone that I've done, I'd say. Oh man, yeah, that's probably yeah. Come to think of it, that's probably the hardest thing for me is the electronics. You know,
I don't
just
even I don't even know how to read
doing.
like circuit diagrams. That
See, I
shit's
can read those. I can get my. I could do the circuit diagram vaguely.
yeah.
It's just the soldering. I'm just not a. I have not got my +1 efficiency in soldering yet.
Yeah.
you know, I'm
Well,
not proficient. So
half of it is actually having a good iron and to make sure that you're using like flux based solder. Um,
yeah.
that's that's like almost 1,000% of it right there.
Mm,
The other half is patience, and then a small part of it's technique. Knowing the little ways that people do things where they'll wrap a wire around a post when they put it through it, so that when you solder it, you just cut some wire that's hanging off and has some mechanical
yeah.
strength in addition to the solder you put there. Like that's all little shit you learn from hanging around with dudes that do it all the day, and they're like beating their sticks to it and being like, "Oh yeah, I know all about this soldering right there." Right?
Oh, that's actually a really good idea. Wrapping the wire around the post before you solder it on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
I never even thought about that.
I got yelled at in one of my videos when I was redoing Swamp Thing, and that was actually my most successful wiring job. Like it worked the first time. The joints didn't hold the first time, so I had to go
Gotcha.
redo a couple of my grounds. But the thing fired up, and everything worked the right way the first time. I was impressed. The first time that I ever put together one of those Les Paul kits, they had like these quick connect connectors for everything, and it was a fucking
Oh
nightmare
yeah,
because there was no documentation.
like EMG quick connect things and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like EMGs or anything like that. It was just some cheap shit
Oh,
they
okay.
found in the corner of fucking Bangladesh or something, right?
Yeah.
So,
So those damn 3-year-olds can't even put wires together. Pfft,
oh man,
worthless. Why do you think we only pay them 20 cents a day?
yeah. Well, it's actually more like 20 cents a month. That's the actual scary economics of it.
Yeah.
Um, but
Thanks, world.
yeah, but there's also 12-year-old kids that make better guitars than the both of us. Like,
Yeah.
and I respect that, man. It's like if I was able to build guitars at 12 years old, man, guess what I'd be doing? I'd be playing in a wood
Pro-
shop.
Probably still working at Fender.
Yeah. Probably missing a couple of fingers by then too, you know.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I genuinely think that the template stuff is probably the most approachable way to get into the whole building, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree with that. And as we went over in our last podcast, I make all my own templates,
Yeah.
but I do use templates for all my stuff. I just like to have templates, and I just buy the what is it, OBS or whatever the what is
OSB.
OSB. Yeah, there you go. I'm just dumb, so there you go. Yeah, just OSB, and I make a bunch of templates. Here, let me grab a couple. Yeah, yeah. Here's the Z that I'm making. Here's a neck template that we made. Here's a neck pocket and humbuckers package, dual package.
Nice.
And just throw them all together and let it work itself out pretty
Yeah.
much.
So you said you also said that your brother was doing a multi-scale with that bass that he's doing.
I think he's doing a multi-scale. I could be mistaken,
Yeah.
but I'm not really sure.
That's something I
could.
definitely want to do.
Yeah, I'm. I'm definitely intimidated by fan frets,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, honestly, it couldn't be harder to do than regular frets, right?
Yeah.
As far as building is concerned.
And I mean, I've seen a couple of these dudes on YouTube almost freeball this shit, right? Like they're not using any type of fret like template or anything. Just like, oh yeah, look at this. You just got to put a little slit right there, and we just kind of figure it out based off of this scale length. So, and it's like,
Yep.
what the fuck were you smoking, man? Like, this is some crazy shit.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I really want to. I really want to try it out, though. I don't, I don't think that there's really much of a benefit for like tonal stuff, but it's supposed to be better for players because of how it stretches the fingers.
Ergonomics.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an ergonomic thing.
yeah, for the gentlemen out
You know.
there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got to
You know.
cater to the gentlemen. The bread and butter of our industry. They're the only ones buying guitars right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those gent guys, I mean, they need that ergonomic shit because all they do is go from playing their guitar to playing video games on their computer. I assume.
Yeah.
That's all I'm assuming.
Well, I mean, if
You
you
know.
also had to hold one chord for an entire song, you would need it to be ergonomic in order to survive that fucking bullshit. Like that's another reason why they need that.
And we just lost half our subscribers.
See, that's what happens when you drop truth bombs right there. That's
Oh yeah.
that's the truth of it. Have you actually ever built a guitar for a musician?
No.
No.
Nope. I've only built guitars for myself and my channel. You know.
Yeah.
I
I have.
Okay.
And I actually haven't gotten much feedback from him. I don't even know if he really plays it. But like this guy in a local band, like he's metalhead. He's an awesome guy. And
Yeah.
I made him a kick Les Paul that I barbecued and did all sorts of nasty things to. It looks awesome. So it's a
Okay.
Les Paul with the skulls on it for the volume knobs. If I've showed
Yep.
that.
Yep. You sure have. Yeah.
Yeah. Because one thing I always wondered about with my peers that do this stuff is like, what's the pressure like actually building an instrument for somebody that's either paying you for it or is going to be using on a daily driver basis?
So for me personally,
Yeah.
that's why I have not made any guitars for anybody. Honestly, strictly on the basis of I want mine to be 100% perfect
Mm-hmm.
before I actually let somebody spend money on my stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still in the learning and practicing phase of my building career.
I feel like I'm still a beginner too, man, and I've been doing this just as long as you have. It's actually we should
which at the end of the day,
that,
it's not very long.
Yeah.
I mean, full time, not very long. I mean, of course, yeah, we've dabbled since we were teenagers, both of us.
Yeah.
But as far as building our own stuff, what, a year or something?
Yeah.
If that, I don't even, not even. I don't know.
But
So.
I think of like what the future looks like, right? And I always consider myself, even in my career path of like IT, that I'm still a beginner, no matter where I'm at with the craft or what I'm doing.
Yep.
Because I should always be learning, and I should never assume that I'm at a position of authority or master level. Because if I ever did get to that level, I would become lazy and would never learn again.
True. That's very true. Gotta be humble.
Oh yeah, it's that deep philosophical stuff, man. That's how you get better at stuff. Is you always gotta like bully yourself, like Eminem does. That's how it works.
Oh yeah. Like them old people that live to 120. Gotta learn something new every day. Gotta eat your tapioca pudding, smoke a cigar every day.
Yeah.
Fucking whatever.
Take a fistful
all
of
that
meds
shit.
and go grocery shopping. That's usually what they do.
Yep. Slap your wife around a couple times. Two or three times a day should work.
Ooh.
Old people.
Oh yeah.
gotta love them. Pinch them on the cheek. Very racist and all that stuff.
That is a good point that, like, with the elderly, we do kind of put up with a lot more, like, shenanigans and bullshit because we're just like, listen, they're, like, a million years old. Like, they're not going to learn any better at this point,
Yeah, exactly. They've been saying racial slurs since the 20s, so, might as well just let it slide for the last 10 years of their life.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not like they're going to be around much longer.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Some of this stuff in this world. Is we still got people out there that are, that old and that, like, crazy and left completely unchecked. But, hey.
Well, I mean, the problem is we still have people, our age, younger, and, middle-aged people, that still hold the same values of those, people that are very racist for some reason. I mean, I don't understand it, but What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Well, you
Yeah.
got to let them just go sunset into the distance, man. That's really what you got to wait for. It's like, well, they're not going to be around here much longer. So,
All I can say, QAnon.
yeah.
That's
Oh shit, I think my stream is at a complete like loss right now. Okay. Okay.
oh really?
Wow. Yeah, I was getting like DDoSed or something. Like it was like I saw the light on the meter down there. I went from 3,700 kilobits per second down to
Okay.
0, and it like turned red and it was like, and I was like, whoa, hey, what's going on here?
Oopsie. Well,
Yeah.
what's our time at right now?
We are
Have you been
at
keeping
40
track?
minutes.
Well, I mean, you want to wrap her up?
Yeah, I think it's about that time. You know, we're gonna end it on racism and old people. You know, that's a good way to show ourselves out.
Let's segue on plugs. You got any plugs for yourself? Because this goes up on my channel also. So
I don't have any
plug your
plugs for
YouTube
myself
channel.
except for myself. That would be ezoguitars.com or Element Zero Guitars on YouTube. You can find me just by looking up Element Zero Guitars one way or another.
Yep. I'm on Wood Style Shinobi. I'm half the fun out there, all the good looks. So check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, that fun stuff. Anyways, I think we'll call this one good, huh?
Yep. All right. I'm killing the stream.